Welcome to Beyond the Signboard, where you get the opportunity to learn all there is to know about your real estate journey from professionals who are passionate about property. I'm Amy Bennett, your host, and I look forward to providing you with education, inspiration, and a behind-the-scenes look at the world of real estate. Well, good morning. I am delighted this morning to be joined by the amazing Anne Barnett.
Hi.
Hello. She is the newly appointed Sales and Account Director at Coast Smoke Alarms. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
We are so excited, aren't we? We just said off air that we just love spending time together, bouncing off each other's energy and having a great catch up.
We do. Building everything up between us. It's amazing.
Yeah, so new role with Coast Smoke Alarms, but you've been part of the team for a while now.
I have. I've been there for 3 years now with this wonderful team. Such a lovely company. Terry and Catherine are amazing to work with. And the whole team, we've got, as you know, an amazing admin team. We're all there. We work together as a team. We've got the ops team who are out on the road. So, yeah, it's been 3 wonderful years.
Oh, it's awesome. And you know, I always have such a positive experience with your team, especially your technicians that are out on the road, often in the humidity and, you know, trying conditions. And gosh, even going past in previous roles when I used to man our front counter at McGrath, I would always have all the keys ready for your team.
Yes, you did.
Always a positive experience. So look, we will delve into how everything works at Coast Smoke Alarms. It's going to be a really good education session for people with regards to the importance of smoke alarm compliance.
Absolutely.
We've obviously had a lot of legislation changes in Queensland, lots more to come, and I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions that I've certainly had in both my property management and sales roles is just, so we'll get into that.
Excellent.
But before we do, I would love for you to share your career journey and even, you know, life journey and how you've ended up here on the beautiful Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. So my career journey started early. So I was 13 years old when I started work.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Is that legal?
Well, not sure, but it was a sad story, really. My dad fell sick
I know,
with
yeah.
multiple sclerosis when I was 13 years old, and we had to basically sell everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a case of, right, we got together as a family and we said, we're going to work together. We will stay positive throughout all of this.
Yes.
And back then, they'd only given my dad 5 years to
Yeah.
live. So I went to work in an off-licence grocery store and honestly had a ball.
Amazing.
And, yeah, we worked there. And then when I was 18 years old, I moved on to being a secretary, soon escalated up to being an executive assistant.
Awesome. This is back in the UK, I'm assuming.
It is all
Yes.
back in the UK,
Yes.
That's right. So then I had a team of all the secretaries in the company that I looked after. And then I progressed on to being a project manager. I did loads of exams and went into change management.
There you go.
I think, as you know me, I love to help people.
Yes.
And helping different departments and the people in that department going through massive amounts of change. I could see myself working there and I just excelled at it. I loved it.
So do you embrace change?
I do.
Have you
I do.
always?
I don't think I did at the very beginning when I was
Yes.
younger.
Yeah.
You know, when you're growing up and you're going through school and the challenges that you get at school. But I think through my dad, when he fell sick, massive change in our life.
Of course.
And we said we've got 2 ways to deal with this and we're going to deal with it the best way.
And that was united as a family?
United as a family.
Yeah, amazing. You have such a beautiful connection with your family. You had many more years with your dad, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave him 5 years to live when I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
And he died 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
Staying positive, the powers of positivity and just working together.
Amazing.
Laughing all the time.
Yes.
Seeing the good in everything.
Yeah.
It really works.
Look, it's an interesting concept, isn't it? Because the ultimate truth is we are all, you know, going to pass away. And I think it's an interesting thing with Western culture that we really, we fear death or we, don't believe that it's coming. But I think it's a really interesting thing to think about with your dad that, he had that timeline and obviously determination to break through. Yeah. And I'm assuming now there's been a lot more progression, has there, with multiple sclerosis?
Huge amounts. Yeah. It really is. People live long, happy lives now, etc. It really has come on.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Look, I admire your work ethic from a young age. Were you working and still at school, or you had to give even more?
Absolutely it was. I was working, I think, 3 nights in the week.
Yes.
All day Saturday.
Yes.
Sunday lunchtime and Sunday night time.
Yeah, amazing. Such a credit. So with change management, and project management is an interesting field. I kind of have that in a previous role myself. And what I was really always intrigued was how clear it was that people really did struggle with change.
Absolutely, they did. It was I absolutely loved the role that I did, because you're right. When in companies, sometimes the staff, they don't get time to take on the change. They've been doing something they've been doing for the same 5 years, and all of a sudden it's changed.
Correct.
And they need help.
Totally,
And, to realise that, and the company I worked with, to realise they needed a whole team to help them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just amazing.
And I think as well in change management, what I've kind of identified as well is that a lot of people haven't had their voice heard. So a management decision is made at an upper level and it's not sort of passed down correctly.
Correct.
So yeah, it's interesting that would be, the start of your journey. I think we also saw, didn't we, over the last few years, certainly with COVID, how much change affected people, and that
absolutely.
Disruption, really was a lot for a lot of people to navigate.
And it still is.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people out there still suffering.
Yeah.
It suddenly came upon us. There was no time to think about it. So, we need to help everybody.
Yeah, and you just mentioned to me off air that you had your first Christmas back in the UK.
We did. We just went back and we were with the whole family, the kids. It was absolutely wonderful.
Amazing.
And I love being in the cold.
I was a bit cold this morning here, and I thought, I always hope for winter, and then when it comes here, did you have a white Christmas?
The day before, we arrived, they'd had snow.
Okay.
So when we arrived, most of it had gone, but our family had built a snowman.
Beautiful.
Because my youngest had never seen snow.
Yeah, he's an Aussie, isn't he?
He's an Aussie.
Yes.
He was born here.
Yeah, amazing.
So when we got there, my brother, bless him, went straight around the corner, got the snow from the snowman, came out and just dropped it all down his back.
Oh, how magic is that, honestly?
His introduction to it.
Oh, look, it's family is so important, and I know we will talk a little bit later about that, but I know that that's probably where you found your role in Coast Smoke Alarms really is a family run, and the team really are a family, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We work together as a team. We really do. We stick together. We help each other. When someone's overwhelmed with something or a little bit's going on, we all pull in together. We help out. It really is a family-run business. It's beautiful.
So magic. So we've gone from project management and change management. Yes. So you progressed your career, I would suggest at a rapid rate probably then.
Yes.
And where to from there?
So I actually met my husband and I had my children.
Yes.
And so I left the corporate field and I set up my own business being a driving instructor.
Oh, that's amazing. Gosh, you would have the patience of a saint. I love that.
It was my husband who basically suggested it.
Yeah.
He was sat on the toilet one day reading the paper.
Where the best visions come from.
The best visions, absolutely. And we were talking about what I should do, and he was talking to me, and looking around and saying, what do you like doing? Who are you inside? What makes you get up in the morning? And it's all about helping people.
Absolutely.
And he was on the toilet reading, and he saw this advert.
I love that you reading the paper. What a vision. Long before mobile phones. I think there's some statistic about the amount of people that take their phones to the toilet. I love that was a newspaper. Oh,
it was. Yes.
So how long did you do that?
18 years.
Wow, and that's incredible. I had no idea.
Yes.
Amazing.
I did. And I loved every bit of it because, again, you have these children who need help to go through a big change in their life.
Yeah.
And I just loved it.
So that was here on the Sunshine Coast?
It was partly in the UK,
Yes.
and then when I arrived here, I did it here as well.
Yeah, amazing. And what was the process of somebody obtaining their licence in the UK versus here?
I just had to do some certification
Okay,
here,
yep.
and the skills that I had from the UK transferred over here.
Perfect.
And then I worked for a company, and then literally within a year, they could see my skills, and I ended up teaching people who wanted to be driving
Oh, that's
instructors as
awesome.
well. So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so good. Any hairy stories from those times?
Oh, hairy stories. There was one guy I was teaching to be a driving instructor, and, we said, right at the next road, turn left, and he was focused on going straight.
Yes.
And he did the worst thing.
Yes.
Suddenly realised he had to turn left, and instead of when you make a mistake like this in driving, you continue straight on.
Yes.
You find somewhere safe
Yeah.
to turn around. And he didn't. He just swung it around the corner. I had to grab the steering wheel, hit the brakes. We had to bring it in.
So that wasn't a
quite
student,
hairy.
that was an instructor.
That was an instructor.
That's terrifying,
Yeah,
isn't it?
It was. So it just goes to show, go with an instructor when you learn to drive who has had all that training.
Yeah.
Because that's where he learned. You learn actually by your mistakes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and I can never imagine him doing that and telling his students,
Yeah,
you
that's-
suddenly go, you go past it, you turn around where it's safe and come back.
Yeah, that takes me back. I got my license. I applied for it the day I could, and I remember I came up to a really high hill in Caloundra, and there was 4 zebra crossings. So very complex. Obviously, that's why they test you.
Yes.
Anyway, I looked to the left, looked to the right, went ahead, and then here came somebody on a mobility scooter zooming down.
Oh,
So I was stopped in the middle of the intersection, and then the person let me go. And it's funny, isn't it? Because I thought, I've lost the opportunity, I've failed. So I just potted along. Anyway, the instructor said, look, that's something you'll learn, that peripheral vision. And
Yes.
yeah. So I surprised my family by getting it the first time.
Oh, well done, well done.
Never wanted to not to be a high achiever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow. So what was the decision to move out of that industry?
When my children were in high school, and I just basically wanted to do something more. And
Yes.
I'd always had a feeling for sales, and
Yes.
obviously running my own business,
Yes.
that I basically moved into sales. So it was when the kids were at high school, able to get themselves to school and back. I was
Yes.
no longer needed during the day.
Yeah.
And so I went back into the sort of the corporate field.
Amazing. So
Yes.
did you teach your boys to drive?
I did. Yes, I know.
Was it easy?
It was, because I made the rule that when I got in the car with them, I wasn't their mother.
Okay, I love
was
it.
their instructor.
I love it.
So,
I love
yes,
it. I love
know.
it.
So we had that understanding. and
Yeah.
all good.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, my mum refused to take me. Her beautiful partner took me because, we have an ability to be able to escalate very quickly. But no, I'm always curious with that, with, what you do, in your work and then transferring that to your home
Your own
life.
family, yeah.
Yeah. So with the team at Coast, I believe you had a connection with Catherine and Terry, is that right?
I did. So
Yeah.
my youngest one is
Yes.
in the same year level as their eldest, Caitlin.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so we had met at school, and the children had met playing in
Yes.
the area that we lived. And so, I'd got to know Catherine, a year before I even went to work with her.
Yeah, I'm sure that she was relentlessly pursuing you to join part of the team.
She did in the first
Yeah.
year, but I was very happy where I was. I
Yeah.
was working then at Go Transit, which
Okay,
is,
yes.
I was in the sales and advertising there, the
Big
stickers on the
billboards.
bus.
Oh, the bus
buses,
stickers. Yes, yeah.
So I was very happy there, but then COVID came along and I was made redundant.
Okay.
And as with virtually half the company then, an advertising industry, first thing that goes out of people's sort of budget when tough times are there is advertising.
Correct, yeah.
So that was unfortunate, but obviously,
Opportunity
when
knocks.
one door closes, the
Yes.
window's open.
Yeah.
And went to Catherine. I was walking actually with the dog and bumped into her, and it was like, hey, how are you? Are you sure you don't want to come and work with us? And I went, actually.
It's amazing,
And there
isn't
you
it?
go.
Yeah. And look, I love that about the Sunshine Coast. I know, coming back after having a corporate career, that was literally my trajectory with my career as well, was, basically who knew who I was and
Yes.
being able to refer you to businesses. So certainly COVID had no negative impact on the smoke alarm business. In fact,
No.
you just continued through on that whole period.
We did.
Yeah.
We did, absolutely. So, I mean, as you know, our industry is saving lives you can't suddenly stop saving lives
Correct.
and looking after people.
Yeah.
Obviously, something like COVID hits.
Yeah, well, look, before we get into the business, I know Catherine has diligently prepared you a little bit of an overview. So it'd be remiss of us not to share this prepared information about their incredible business. So I'll hand it over to you.
Excellent. So Coast Smoke Alarms. We are a local family-owned business that is based in Maroochydore. They have been operating as Coast Smoke Alarms for 4 years, but the business was actually established in 2011, so it's been running for a long time. We offer a variety of smoke alarm services to the homeowners, home sellers, which is obviously where I met you, Amy,
Yes.
and landlords and the property management side as well. One thing that we pride ourselves in is that basically we deliver excellent customer service, and we are absolutely committed to keeping the people safer from obviously the devastating effects that fire can have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're here to help everybody, not just the real estate side of it in the property management side, but for every homeowner as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's, we'll obviously touch on the importance of smoke alarms. I know certainly, my family business was lost in an arson attack, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
When I was a child, and I went through bushfires. And so I have a real, actually a personal, not a fear, but definitely, fire safety is really important to me, having been through those things. Yeah. And then, of course, unfortunately, I know here in Queensland, probably the real catalyst for this change was in Slacks Creek a number of years ago. There was a devastating loss of a large family without smoke alarms.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah.
From what we understand, they'd taken out the battery and just forgot to replace it. And so, yes, I think it was 9 out of the 11 family died.
It's just
terrible.
Hard to comprehend, isn't it? And I think probably the importance, and I guess the reason we're chatting about it today is, from a landlord perspective as well. Recently another, devastating loss. I believe it was on Russell Island?
That's right.
5 family members. That was not compliant smoke alarms.
Non-compliant smoke alarms, and yes, the dad and their 5 children perished.
Yeah.
I know, devastating.
I know that would have just absolutely rippled through your industry, that heartbreak and devastation. And I guess, on a positive side is that how many people you've saved from that with smoke alarms.
Absolutely. Having the new interconnected photoelectric smoke alarms gives you those vital seconds.
Absolutely.
They start off earlier to get you awake, to get you out.
Yeah, so let's chat about them, because I do enjoy your infomercial on smoke alarms. But chat about the importance, and then I guess we can chat through legislation and what's required. But ultimately, where are we at here? This is obviously in Queensland, but what is minimum standards?
So the minimum standards, if you are selling or renting your property, or even a new home that's being built, you need to have smoke alarms in your bedrooms.
Yes.
As well as the hallways that connect the bedrooms.
Yes.
They need to be interconnected.
Yeah, which means they all go off at the same time.
That's right.
Yes.
So if one goes off, there's a fire, say in one bedroom, everybody gets woken up.
Yeah.
Everyone in the hallways and the bedrooms, they're there. They're loud.
Across both levels as well of the property.
On every level of the property, absolutely. So even if you had a 3-stair one, on every level you need to have a smoke alarm.
Yeah, absolutely.
To give you those vital seconds of waking you up, happening in the night, and to get you outside.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And would you suggest would most fires occur at night, or is that just a higher risk because people are asleep? Or
the higher risk is because you're asleep.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
So it's waking you up. I mean, you know what it's like when you're asleep and you're suddenly woken up. You have to get yourself going.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think you fear in that moment, and wouldn't you think it's a dream or something like that as well? So and then heaven forbid with kids and things like that, and that inability to be able to know what to do. I mean, I remember growing up. I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. The stop, drop, and roll. Would that have been something that you had in the UK?
It was,
Yeah, you used to touch the wall.
Touch the handle of the door.
Yeah, correct.
See if it's hot with the back of your hand.
Yeah.
And if it is, you've got to stay low because there's a fire outside.
Yeah,
all
wow.
of that. Yes,
Yeah. That just took me back to
me too as
firefighters visiting at school.
Yeah.
But you are right. It's just so vital. The timing, it just happens so quickly, doesn't it?
Quickly.
Yeah,
too quickly.
Once it happens. I mean, when we lost our family business, it was was there was obviously no smoke alarms. It was a decoy for an armed robbery, unfortunately. So in that small local town, all of the firefighters went to that area. But obviously devastating for our family. But I know, from the moment that basically people were alerted, the business had perished completely, and the devastation of that. And, we see it, don't we, with bushfires as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So incredible work to be able to be making a difference. And I guess, what I really love about the company, and that's why we have such a strong alignment, is the integrity, and the importance of the quality of products.
Absolutely. There are lots of smoke alarms out there, and there's more coming on to the retail side of it every day. If there's one thing we can please stress to everybody is, do you know what? Go for quality over, something that's a cheaper price.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will pay for it if you go for the cheaper alarms because, and I'm talking about the real cheap ones
of course.
that you get.
Nothing that you'd sell.
Nothing that we'd sell.
I know.
What it is with the humidity, especially here in Queensland,
yes.
they don't cope, these cheaper ones, and they false alarm.
Yes,
and so, you're fast asleep at 2 a.m. in the morning, and when the temperature dips, they false alarm.
Yes.
And then you have to run around, and once you've woken up at that, it takes a long time to get back to sleep. And we all know it's torture.
Absolutely.
To not get your sleep at night time is torture. So go for a good quality brand smoke alarm. The one that we recommend is the Caviar smoke alarm.
Yep.
It's very well built from Denmark, and they're all tested. They cope very well with the high humidity here.
Yeah, that's
very
great.
Few false alarms.
Being a Dane, I'm a big fan of the caviars as well.
Absolutely, yes.
I think, look, it's an interesting thing, isn't it, when you look at, I guess the opportunity for other businesses to capitalise in legislation change. I mean, we've certainly seen that. Probably the one thing that comes to mind is, when there's a hailstorm, isn't there, and then you'll have an influx of people that move to an area to do roof restoration, or, when there was the insulation rebates and things like that. And so I think it's just about doing that due diligence. I think this is why we've sort of gone into depth as well with, certainly, making sure that you're using a reputable company. And I guess, every industry has myths and misconceptions. What would you say is the greatest one with your industry?
Yes, absolutely. So, as you know, we are electricians, but we specialise in the alarms. And we understand the legislation and basically the complications that are within it. Unfortunately, we do go to houses where they have been upgraded by a generalist electrician. And unfortunately, they put the alarms in places that are not compliant. It's
a really great that you point that out. And I remember Terry coming to have a look at a property that I had, and they said, "Oh, no, we've got compliant smoke alarms." There was one that wasn't working, so we thought, "Oh, I don't know about that." Anyway, Terry said, "Look, no, too close to the wall."
That's right.
So literally, it had to be reoriented. That had to be patched and everything like that.
Absolutely.
And again, that speaks volumes to both of our integrity and making sure that we're doing the right thing. Always.
And placing the right number of alarms. Again, there are some electricians, unfortunately, and not all of them. There's some great ones out there, but there are some. They just don't know the ins and outs of the legislation, and they even miss alarms.
Yeah.
It's so vital that they're all there. So that's one of the greatest myths. We specialise, we know the legislation inside and out.
Yeah, and that's evolving, and there will be some, I guess it's been a staged, tiered process. I remember when I was our business development manager, obviously all new properties that were being leased, and then obviously that's transferred to sales now. So with in Queensland, so the smoke alarms must be compliant by settlement. So I think that's probably also a misconception that people think it has to be done prior to going on the market as well.
Correct. So basically it's when you're handing over the keys and it's all done.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So we do get people phoning us going, I'm just went on the market, I need it tomorrow. It's like you've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But we always do. We get them in soon. We get them done so that it's another thing to tick off.
Correct.
As you know, once you're selling a house, there are so many things to do.
It's a big list.
It's a big list. So we take that stress away from them.
You're also incredibly busy as well, because in addition to installations, you're also doing compliance checks across, would you say, how many properties on the coast?
Oh, So many. I couldn't
Thousands,
give a figure.
I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they're coming to bring their house up for sale.
Yes.
And they need that compliance check to make sure that they're right, because the people who are buying the house want to know that their house is covered. So
so that's a great additional service that you offer as well.
Yes.
And then for landlords, there's legislation around, or you're doing a regular, is it an annual service?
It is annual services, and basically whenever they sign a new lease, or if there's a break lease or a lease renewal, the 30 days before the start of that date, we need to go in, we need to check that they're all still working, we clean them, we check their backup batteries, test their interconnectivity, so that we all know the next people or the person whose release is still safe.
Wow. So you could have a tenant move in and then circumstances change with a break lease, and then that's required again.
It's required again. And that's why we offer annual subscriptions, because it covers the landlord for the whole year.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Instead of having to pay each time we go out.
Yeah, and then you've got that's sort of also a call-out option as well, isn't it, if there's any questions or concerns. Let's chat troubleshooting, because I know that's probably your biggest frequently asked question, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Chat us through all the questions you get. We'll save some phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of them is that my smoke alarm's beeping or chirping away.
Yes.
That basically means that possibly the backup battery is failing.
Okay.
So just go in, you just open it up, you take out the removable battery, put the new one in, and then,
standard 9-volt battery.
There are some different ones out there. Some of them do have a round one, so you just need to check, but the majority are a standard 9-volt
And any
battery.
recommendations of brands with those 9-volt batteries?
Just get yourself a good one. They should last about 3 years.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's one. Other ones are obviously when the alarms are sounding. Okay, you need to find what's called the triggering alarm.
Yes.
So it's falsely sound. So obviously when they're sounding, check for fire.
Yes.
There's no fire.
Yes.
And then there isn't, so you need to run around and find an alarm that is called the triggering alarm, and it's flashing red.
Okay.
And that is the one that's giving you the problem.
Sure.
And then all you need to do is press the hush button.
Yes.
It will stop all of the alarms for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So that one that's flashing red,
push
that hush button, stops for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Get your vacuum cleaner out.
Yes, I love this tip.
Give it a good vacuum.
Yes.
Suck out whatever contaminant has got in there.
Yes.
Could be dust, it could be a little creepy crawly, a little cobwebs developed, a little spider that's gone in there.
Yeah, like geckos in the air cons.
Geckos in the air,
yes.
Absolutely. Suck out everything you can, and then if you can, just vacuum all the rest of them as well.
Yeah, great.
And when they reset, 9 times out of 10, your alarms do not sound again.
That's perfect. So hush button, and then also some of the models have a remote, is that right?
Some of the models have a remote, and if you have one that has a remote, some of them have what's called a locate button.
Okay.
So when they're sounding, press the locate button. It stops all of them except that one alarm that is the triggering alarm that's giving the false alarms out for the rest of them to go. So you go straight to it, again, push the hush button on that one. They all stop for 10 minutes.
Great.
10-minute dormant period. Vacuum it all out.
And am I right in thinking that you also do have a QR code available when you're installing as well with instructions for?
Correct.
Yes, I thought I'd seen that in properties.
We do. We put it underneath the kitchen sink or in the cupboard.
Yeah, perfect.
So that if they're going off and you're having issues, just scan that QR code. Our website, which is www.cosmokealarms.com.au, has an excellent troubleshooting guide.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Just go straight on there. We've got everything written down, basically telling you find the triggering alarm, vacuum it all out.
Yes.
But if there is one that is being a problem and it's faulty, we have so many different brands of alarms where we have done videos, we've got written instructions.
Yeah, awesome.
To read what that one is. And if you're not sure of the brand, we've got pictures as well. Have a look at it, have a look on our website. Follow the instructions.
Amazing.
And then give us a call.
Yeah, that's awesome. And look, for those people that haven't had the pleasure of having Coast Smoke Alarms install theirs, I'm sure that they can also zip over to the website and benefit from that as well.
Absolutely. And may I just remind all homeowners, just spend 10 minutes once a month.
Yes.
Just vacuum around your smoke alarms. Or homeowners, tenants, everybody.
Yes.
Just spend, you know how when you have a dog, Once a month, you give them a a tablet. Mine's the first of every
So's
month.
mine. That's us today, isn't it?
That's right.
I got the reminder this morning.
That's right.
Yes.
You make sure you give it. Same time, just go and vacuum
I like
your
it.
smoke alarms.
That's good.
It will save you from having broken night's sleep from false alarms.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I have to ask, I've been burning question. What about burnt toast? Do they still set off the smoke alarms?
They will. They will, absolutely. But we don't have smoke alarms in the kitchen anymore.
Okay.
Because we're awake.
For that reason,
we are awake. And also, yes, situations like that. So they're in their bedrooms in the hallway. But if it was that badly burning, yes, absolutely, they'd be setting them off. So,
Oh, funny. Well, a good tip in not burning your toast, I didn't ever realise until recently that all of the numbers on the toaster are minutes. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
1 is 1 minute, 2 is 2 minutes, 3 is,
wow.
A little bit of trivia for you on a Wednesday morning.
There you go. There we go.
Anything else that you would love to share, I guess, about your industry, any other sort of questions that you get asked all the time, or I guess ways in which people can, get in contact and make sure that their, alarms are compliant?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always here. If you've got any questions, just give us a call on 1300 722 552. We have an amazing team. They're there. They will talk to you. They will answer your questions. They will guide you on the way forward. Like I said, one myth is that obviously electricians, yes, there's a lot of good ones out there. They know it. Sometimes I'm not so sure. So, you know what? Spend that time. Come to a specialised person.
I think Anne, that's a really good point, because we can't be everything to everybody. And if you've got, a sort of a, one-man band, electrician, they're not going to have that ability to be able to, take a phone call to troubleshoot, to have those instructional videos. And I know certainly our experience has been based around, obviously volume and, sales, and also our property management department. But that's really good that you touched on that you are also there for that residential homeowner as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. We can talk you through any of your questions. We're here to make you safer. We are.
So important. We do have legislation upcoming in Queensland with regards to all homes. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So in 2027...
Here before we know it?
Here before we know it, absolutely. Every homeowner needs to have their property fully upgraded to the new legislation, which is the new photoelectric interconnecting smoke alarms in your bedrooms and in the hallways. Now, just to help you understand as well, that doesn't mean that they all have to be hardwired in.
Yeah, great to discuss this.
Yeah, so your own home will probably have a couple of smoke alarms that are already hardwired in from when your house was built many, many years ago. What we do is we have wireless smoke alarms so that we can change the hardwired ones that you have for other hardwired ones, because that's the law. You have to change them with another
they must be replaced with the same. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the ones in your bedrooms where you don't have any, we put wireless ones in.
Okay.
So we don't have to go into your ceiling.
Sure.
We don't have to put, the big holes into your ceilings. We just go in, we screw in the wireless ones, and we connect them all together.
And it's a quick process, isn't it?
Very quick process.
Would you say sort of 45 minutes, an hour?
Maximum.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing.
And then, because we're specialised, we teach you how to look after them. Whilst we're there, our operations team are fantastic. They will guide you through how to look after them, what to do if something goes wrong, and how to maintain them.
It's amazing because I think that education piece is so important, isn't it? And obviously saves a lot of headaches. And like you said, broken sleep, I hadn't even really thought about that. I must say I haven't had a bad experience with a smoke alarm for a while, thank God. Must check that they're all working.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go back in them now. You know what we say when we talk about it, they suddenly go off.
Yeah. That's exactly right. What do you love about your role, Anne? I mean, our listeners will, be obviously able to tell how passionate you are.
Yeah. What do I love about my role? I love the fact that I can help our clients and our homeowners in sorting out situations, when the norm doesn't fit, something is different, and we need to work a little bit more. I absolutely love that because I'm here to help get to that resolution. I love helping our clients. They call me up all the time. I love helping the general public when they have, they put on a new room or something and they're just not sure what goes on here, I'm there for them. So I'm here to help, and I just love that about my role.
Oh, you are an absolute angel, honestly. I recount and think, gosh, how many journeys we've had and unique situations.
We have, and we've laughed all the way through, haven't we?
We always laugh, and you always bring joy when we get a chance to chat.
Yes.
We just recently installed a smoke alarm in a studio, so it was a shed that's used as a personal training business.
Yes, yeah.
That was a new experience for me, and that was an interesting one because the ceiling height, we were a little bit concerned. We were worried, is it over 4 metres that the technician needed to have another support person?
That's right, yes.
So I loved that level of detail, and I think that's really important for your teams, obviously workplace health and safety as well.
Yeah, safety is paramount for us as well as our clients that we're going to. So yes, absolutely. But we can do it. So just let us know and we're there.
There's never been a problem you haven't solved in the smoke alarm world for me. If you weren't in this role, what would you be doing?
So if I wasn't working in this role right now, I would be on the Fred Hollow's boat. You know, that restores eyesight for the lady?
Yes.
I would love to be there. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, but I know that I could help those people who are going to be anxious of having major eye surgery, basically, to hold their hand, help them before, help them afterwards, and just keep everything positive with them.
What a beautiful vision, pardon the pun. Yeah. That's regularly a Christmas present my mum and her partner purchase for each other, is the gift of sight for someone else.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And where was the connection to that?
There isn't any.
Okay.
I just would
feel
love
a calling
to help. Yeah, I do. I feel a calling to help those people. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, but to just keep them calm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be with them, keep them laughing, keep them positive, going in and coming out. It's giving back.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's making a difference in people's lives.
It's so important. I mean, you're speaking my language with that. That's really special. Mine boggles now with that. That's really special. I love that. Let's shift gears a little bit, and obviously that gives us an insight to who you are as a person. Aside from work and aside from your potential volunteering, where's your dream holiday destination in the world?
My dream holiday destination would be anywhere where there is a Wim Hof retreat kind of workshop that's happening.
The ice baths and breathing.
The ice bath.
Yes.
He is all about health and about immunity and keeping you strong.
Yes.
He's incredible.
Yes.
In fact, now it's winter. After I've done my big walks, I've just signed up to do, it's called the Bloody Log Walk.
Yes, I've seen it. Yes.
I've just signed up to that. So I'm out there preparing for all of that. And in the morning when I've been out with my dog and I've done my big walks, I go and I jump in our pool.
That's amazing.
Cold at the moment.
Yes.
But honestly, it works.
So invigorating.
Yes. It makes you feel good.
Yes.
It sets me up for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I'm on a high.
Yep.
So anywhere where there is a Wim Hof workshop, I've never been on one, and I've literally just been reading up on him over the last year.
Yes.
And I would love to go to one of those.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, having Danish heritage, it's very much, when I have been, home to Denmark, very much for my family that, in the icy fjords and then having a nice warm sauna.
Bring it on. Let's all feel good.
You're braver than me. You could also do in Tassie, they do the, on the winter solace, they do the naked, you can go out and have a naked swim. I think it's about 6 degrees or something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's amazing.
Do you know what, Amy? I'm going to set a challenge. You and I are going to go and we're going to do some ice baths together.
Let's do it. Let's do one.
Let's do one. Let's go for it.
I'm more than happy. I'm always brave. Actually, I did have a cryotherapy a couple of sessions after a fall. That was I think, I can't even, maybe like minus 60 or something like that. And so that's very much mind over matter. So I love that sort of stuff. It's a bit like skydiving. So once I've done that, I'm happy to do an ice bath.
Excellent.
An ice bath.
We're booking it in. I'm going to get you there.
Now, I would suggest, Anne, every day for you is the best day of your life. But is there one particular moment that stands out for you?
I would say it's probably 2 days, and that was giving birth to my children.
That's beautiful.
To actually hold them in my arms
Yeah.
and carrying them for the 9 months, and when they were there, it just, honestly, the unconditional love, and you're just feeling so great.
Yeah.
I would definitely say those 2 days.
You are a super mama. Tell us about your family.
So my husband, I've been with him for, over 20 years now.
That's
I met him
amazing.
in England when we were working. In fact, it was funny, we do laugh because I was already working there and he came in and said hello. And so I immediately told him that basically I was going to be the most important person in his life. And it was for work because I was working with him and helping him.
I like it.
You know what? We just grew together. And when we got married, he stood up, he goes, I knew from the moment I met her, and her first words were that she was going to be the most important person in my life, he said, and she absolutely is.
Isn't that special? Isn't it a gift? Oh, gosh, I got goosebumps from head to toes. Isn't it a gift to find someone that is your person?
You just connect with them.
Yeah.
Soulmates.
And
friends to begin with.
Yeah.
And we just grew.
And you have journeyed through so much, moving halfway across the
countries,
world.
yes.
Obviously with your dad's health and
Yes.
the 2 boys.
Yeah.
Look, it's a testament for you to have stood the test of the time. And the boys, they keep you busy?
Boys keep me busy.
Yes.
So the elder one is at university. He's left home.
Yes.
And I was like, he's going to leave home. He's going to be back every weekend
Yes.
doing his clothes. No, he left and he was gone. Talk about, oh my gosh, stab me in the heart. So, of course, what am I doing? Just swarming my little one with love and affection and
Hang
jumping
on,
him
yes.
and clinging on. Don't leave me. But he'll be gone at the end of this year as well. He'll be joining his brother, I reckon, at university. So.
Yeah. Oh, look, if I think my mum's one of the most stoic, strongest women on this planet, and I shouldn't laugh. The hardest day was when she dropped me off. I left home 21 years in the same house, and she dropped me off to Brisbane. And gosh, even the thought of it now, her little face, and she was so devastated. We've always just been a really formidable team.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine.
I had to put sunglasses on because I got tears in my eyes. I was like, I'm not going to see Lindsay crying. So,
But what a beautiful gift, and family is so precious, like we said. So empty nesters on the horizon.
Yes.
But a
we
fur
will
baby.
be. Oh, got a fur baby, our rescue dog. She's beautiful. Took a while for her to calm down. She's pulled me over. She broke my arm.
That's right.
Pulled me over again and knocked me out. But you know what? We worked with her and she's gorgeous.
Amazing.
Absolutely gorgeous. She doesn't fear anymore.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. What a beautiful home that she has to live.
Oh, she's well spoiled.
Well, everybody deserves that. And what's your favourite meal or drink that you like to enjoy?
So my favourite meal is duck à l'orange.
Ah!
Absolutely love duck à l'orange. And my drink has to be a Bailey's Irish cream with an ice cube in it. It's just such a warming, comforting drink.
Yeah.
Sitting around when we're out camping, around the campfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So tell me about your duck la orange, is it? I love
duck
it.
à l'orange,
Oui, oui, oui.
yes.
Very French.
It is.
Where are you having that here on the Sunshine Coast?
So I've had it at the tavern. They've had it there. You know, the Budderim Tavern?
Wow.
So, yeah, they've had it there. So I always, head over there and I've had it there.
Yeah, amazing.
And when I'm back in England, there's a favourite little French restaurant that I go to in England and they have it there. And when we went to Paris recently, because we've just been over to Europe at Christmas.
Yes.
Yep, had it there as
Was
well.
it amazing in Paris?
Oh, it's just phenomenal.
Is it? I think everything's just better there. I remember having a baguette. We went to a delicatessen and a baguette with all these beautiful meats and cheeses and
phenomenal.
I know.
Absolutely amazing. And everyone's so happy over there, aren't
well,
they?
you'd have to be, wouldn't you, travelling, most romantic city.
Yes.
In fact, I nearly got mugged there, so my experience was a little bit tarnished, but time to make a new memory with that.
Yes.
And Bailey's, that sounds lovely, with an ice cube. I always like a really cool, I'm not into hot drinks. I'll always have an iced latte, and maybe that's growing up here in Queensland. So that sounds like a lovely end to the day. Did you say in front of the fire?
In front of the fire when
Yes.
we're camping.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's just such a warming drink. Even though it's got the ice cube in.
Yes.
It just when it's going down, it's just a really warming, comforting drink.
I like it, and you'd
lovely.
probably see too. I don't know if you like that. Also, Bundaberg rum have had some really nice liqueurs,
Yes.
like a smoky marshmallow or
Yeah.
something like that. Not sponsored.
Yeah. and the spiced rum that they do.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oh, so good. If it wasn't, what is it, 9 a.m. in the morning?
Isn't it 5 o'clock somewhere? Yeah. I'm sure in England it's getting there.
Oh, my mum has used that line my whole life. And it's been an absolute pleasure to catch up. I knew we would have such a blast. We just cherish our time together. We're both chatterboxes, and we
are. And it's always a pleasure to get to be with you.
Yeah,
wow.
And I think also too, just your journey and your eternal optimism. Thanks for sharing that sort of insight, and that was born from a really young age.
Yeah.
To wrap up, I always like my guests to share what their favourite quote or saying is.
Absolutely, it's actually our family motto, and it is: "No such word as can't. It's only a question of how."
Amazing.
We live by it. We can get through everything. Working together, there is never, ever a place where it can't happen. It's only a question of how.
You're amazing, Anne. Is there ever a down day, I must ask?
No. Why? We live in the most beautiful place in the world. I have beautiful friends like you, Amy.
Vice versa.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. What an inspiration. Well, thank you very much, beautiful Anne Barnett from Coast Smoke Alarms, for joining me today.
Thank you for having us, Amy. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond the Signboard. We trust you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it for you. If there are any topics you want covered in the future, make sure you reach out and let us know. Also, feedback and suggestions are appreciated, almost as much as likes, shares and downloads.